What's going on, everybody? This is going to be another Storytime video. I know it's been a while since I've done one. I try to space them out because I do have so many. I actually have like about 7 story times lined up, including the one I'm about to talk about today. In this one right here, it took me a while to want to even do this particular story time because of the content of it and how far left it could have went, but I'm so glad that it didn't. And then something happened that following year after this story that I'm about to tell you occurred that almost was a triggering point for me to look back at what happened previously. So y'all can see by the title, it says story time, the time that I was almost tased and arrested. So with this story time, we have to go back to 2011. I was 21, and I was still in college. I was actually getting ready to graduate in a couple weeks. That's why one part of the story was kind of scary to me. And, also because my birthday was coming up too. My birthday fell 3 days before I was set to graduate from college. And basically what's going on is we just completed having a probate. If y'all don't know what a probate is in college, more specifically in the HBCU, that's basically when people who are part of the Divine Nine end up having like a presentation to usher in new members. And it's like put on as a presentation or a show to the audience. And it was the Delta Sigma Theta line that just came out that night. And after that, they had an after party, and the after party was at a club. So on the college campus, they called me cameraman because I was known for taking pictures at the different functions, and actually helped me get into a lot of the functions for free, to the point where a lot of people would ask, if I was going to be there. Because at the time, Facebook was still very high up there as far as a social media platform, and people wanted to say, I hope that cameraman is there because I need a new profile picture for my Facebook. So it is what it is. And we went to this party, and it was at a club, but I was waiting to get in because they were going to let me in from another side of the building instead of me getting in the line with all the other people. I guess you could say that was one of the perks of being pretty known for a person that was taking pictures on campus, especially also because the person who was hosting the party, I knew him. So I was just sitting there waiting. They just said, just go stand on this side and I'm going to let you in. And I can understand, it took a little bit of time for the person to get around because they were dealing with a lot of people. It was a lot of people out there. That was a combination of the school I went to, the school that was across the street, and probably some other people from other colleges that was in the surrounding area. Because there was a few HBCUs around, and there was USC that was right down the street as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of them came as well. You would have thought all of Columbia was there. But anyway, I was just sitting out there just waiting, just to get in and everything like that. But some time had rolled by, so I decided, let me go and just like wander around a little bit. Because, I didn't want to sit on the ground or anything like that. And it was dark. So I just kind of wandered around, because the side of the building I was at was kind of dark. So I wanted to stand near where it was more light. Like from a light pole. And of course they had security out there and everything like that because it was, they needed it. It was a lot of people. So I was walking, and there was maybe 2 or 3 guys that was in front of me, and they was walking and everything like that. And I think they might have been smoking, weed or whatever the case may be, because they did put something up to their mouth. And then I just happened to be behind them. Mind you, I didn't know who these guys were. They didn't know who I was. But, it was no conflict between any of us because they didn't see me. It was kind of some distance between all 3 of us walking. And, one of them, I guess they saw a cop car. It was a police cruiser sitting right there. And I guess they saw him and they decided to just throw out whatever they were smoking on. And for some odd reason, the cop just happened to just look directly at me and thought I was the one that was smoking. And I was like, oh shit, what's about to happen? That's not the case. But I had my camera bag with me. Now I had a Nikon camera in a camera bag. It was a black bag, yellow rimming, strap and everything like that. He thought that whatever I had, I must have took it and threw it out or whatever the case may be. And he just kind of came at me aggressively like, hey, I saw you just throw something out. What did you just throw? And I'm like, I don't know what what you're talking about. I don't it caught me off guard. I'm just sitting there minding my business. It really caught me off guard. He said, I thought you threw something out. I was like, no, I didn't throw anything out. And he said, then he got even more aggressive with me. And then that's when he reached for his taser. And I'm like, at this point, I felt like my heart was about to jump out of my chest. I'm like, I didn't do anything. And one thing I wanted to make sure to not do was reach into my camera bag and try to prove to him that I didn't have anything in there but my camera. What I wanted to do was wait on him to actually, if he wanted to look through the bag, let him do it first before I had a chance to reach into the bag and actually do it. So I took the bag off and I gave him the bag. He opened it up. He used his flashlight and searched through the bag to see if it was anything in it that even closely resembled what he thought it was. All that was in there was just my camera stuff, lens, the camera itself, memory cards, the usual stuff that you would find inside of a camera bag. And he gave me the camera, back and everything like that. And I don't even think he even apologized. He's like, okay, you're good. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that was my initial reaction, because he came so aggressively at me because he thought that I threw something down on the ground that was, weed. And, at that time, weed was still very heavily criminalized. It kind of is to this day, but it's way more lenient. You got to think this was 2011. Here we are, 2022, 12 years later. And it's crazy because I'm recording this video almost around the time of when the event actually happened. I think that's probably what made me want to get on here to finally, just talk about it. Because I've been sitting on this story time for weeks. Like, honestly, I could have did it, but I just decided, I didn't know when I wanted to talk about it. And he just gave me the camera and everything, my camera back. And then how ironic that after all of that happened, mind you, about good 10 or 15 minutes had passed. Remember, I'm still waiting to get inside. Then the person who was, supposed to come get me, they finally came to the door, and I just happened to walk back over, and he said, all right, are we ready? You can come in now. And then he kind of looked at, I had a shook look on my face. He could kind of tell because he was asking me, was I good? Because and I did, but I didn't let him know what just transpired about 5 minutes ago, or what could have happened, because that, like I said, that could have completely turned left. But then, I went in, I took pictures, and I completely acted, or had to pretend like what just happened or what almost happened did not just happen. So literally, I'm in this party taking pictures at this event, trying to have a good time, but in the back of my mind, that's playing back there. And that kind of messes with you, especially since I think I was being paid for this too. So, but I just went about it and kept it moving. Now, the reason why I said that this was a triggering story for me the following year, because mind you, I've already graduated by this time. I've already been graduated for a few months. The end of February rolls around. We know what happened at the end of February of 2012. Trayvon Martin was murdered by George Zimmerman. And the reason why I said it was so triggering for me is because George Zimmerman, as we all know what he looks like when who killed Trayvon Martin, the cop that almost detained me for something I did not have, almost looked exactly like George Zimmerman. I kid you not. He looked like they could have been related, like they could have been brothers. And that was triggering for me because I'm sitting there like, oh my God, that looks like the cop that was going to tase and possibly arrest me for some weed that I did not have. And now we're looking at George Zimmerman murder Trayvon Martin in cold blood over some goofy shit. And that was like I said, that was a triggering moment for me when I saw that all transpire then. Now, here's the thing. Y'all are probably the first people that I've ever told this story to. I have never told this story even to my college peers, and they were in close vicinity to me. I've never even told this story to my parents. So that means y'all are a very special audience for me to come on here for the first time in over 10 years and tell this story publicly to you. And for anyone else who's out there watching right now, a lot of these story times that I'm telling you right now, many people don't really know. And it's crazy. It's like I'm pouring my heart out to an audience of people that I've never even met. I've never even told the story to people that I've known for years or family members who I've known forever. That's crazy, right? This is my first time literally telling this story. I cannot remember even telling this story to my parents at all. And the crazy thing is, when that was happening, all I'm thinking in my mind is, oh my God, please don't let anything happen to me. I'm about to graduate. My 22nd birthday's coming up. I'm trying to have the best time for these last 2 weeks of my undergrad years. And everything's rushing through my mind. It's a lot going through. My heart is racing right now at that point. That was all that was going through my mind. And it was a big sigh of relief when I was able to finally go. And it's crazy. And interaction with this cop that lasted about 5 minutes felt like forever. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much that story time. Stay tuned. There will definitely be some more story times, entertaining, happy ones, and also some very some other ones as well. Hopefully, I don't think I have anything extreme like this, even though this is not that extreme, but it was extreme to me because it was a slight traumatizing moment, because that was my first time actually in my adult life having an encounter with a cop over something that I did not do. So I guess you can say that was a wake-up call for me. That was my first interaction with a cop in that way.